Again, well, we're back in the coach, and again, a project that I've been dreading and looking forward to at the same time. In this case, it's the stainless steel tile for the backsplash in the galley, and looked around a long time to get tiles that were suitable. Ended up with Instant Mosaic by EKB Innovations. We picked it up at Lowe's in Canada. Lowe's, we don't. It's new to have this in Canada, but this seems to be the best tile for the application. The tile has a thin foam backing on it, which makes it a lot easier to accommodate the inconsistencies. For instance, the seams, and there's another one up here. But on the whole, for the first few tiles I've put on, I'm really pleased with the way it's looking. It's going to go all the way across the window and into the space up to this strip. So let's just see how this advances. Cheers. Hello. Perhaps it's time for a little more detailed update on the coach. I keep thinking I'll get it tidied up enough that I can do a nice video that's more of an update, but it's an ongoing project and therefore it's pretty much always a mess, at least for the next little while. So I'm in the final push, redoing the front plastic mess that's in all Argosys and most Airstreams. Took it out and redid it all in wood. I'm not entirely thrilled with the way I detailed some of it at the bottom, but I might play with that a little bit. Almost all the cabinetry is done, all the new upper cabinets, all in oak. Again, solid oak frames with veneered oak plywood panels. New fridge, really love it, and that's worked out well. New stove. Again, once you've been in the boat world, RV stuff, even when it's really good, is a little bit cheesy, but it's brand new and really nice. Cabinetry is all done again. As I might have showed you, I've got this stainless steel tile put in, and this I'm really pleased with. It just looks fantastic, and it went on well, and I think it'll stay on, which is, key. Further back, bathroom hasn't advanced much in a while. It's what I'm going to get to soon. All the doors and cabinets are made, and the main door is made. It's outside, so I'll get into there, and I'll show you some tricks about how I'm dealing with that. Again, rear cabinetry up high. Nothing much else has changed in the back in a little while, and the hanging locker is as it was. So really, it's just putting together the last of the cabinets and some last doors that I'm making. I'm just finishing them outside here. We won't go outside because the wind will make a mess of the audio. Again, I've been very grateful to be able to work here at the marina because I'm living on my boat a quarter of a mile away, or a couple hundred yards away, in Victoria Harbour here. This has been a fantastic opportunity, and just about done, which is great. Okay, well, let's get back to work. I'll keep you up to date. On a boat while you live aboard, you realize how easy you had it living in a trailer while you live aboard, because campsites always have picnic tables, and picnic tables make really great workbenches. Anyway, I have to figure out some kind of solution for that, but this certainly was one of the most picturesque places. Well, I shouldn't say that. Texas and Louisiana were pretty nice too. Anyway, it's a lovely spot, and it was a great opportunity to get some work done. I should give you a rundown of the finishes I'm using. Again, the cabinetry is oak, and it's stained with Minwax red mahogany, or mahogany red. And the finish I'm putting it on after that is tung oil. In this case, I'm using something called tung nut butter. This is a product of Island Teak, and it's really good. I'm using it on the boat as well. It's nice because it has a consistency of butter or very thick cream, so it's easy to rub in, and then you rub it out sort of like French polish. It's a lot of work, and tung oil is for believers. It's not for everybody. I adore it. I don't know why, really, because it's a lot of work, and in some cases it's let me down, but I love the finish, and I love the idea that you can just rub on another coat at any time to add more protection. Varnish, moisture gets under it, drives it off. I've had so many varnish failures in my life, and many fewer tung oil failures. So I just love it, and it's generally pretty easy to put on. Dust isn't a problem because you can just rub it right back off. But it does take a lot of coats, and it's a long time to dry between coats. But such is life. I don't know if I mentioned much about the countertop. IKEA. It's oak, solid oak, laminated with lots of little blocks. Not exactly butcher block style, because butcher block would be end grain, but people call this butcher block. It's made out of tiny, tiny pieces. So from a carpentry point of view, it's a bit disappointing, but it is really quite nicely made. Cutting out the hole for the sink was very, very high stress, but it worked out really pretty well. Some of you will remember that this is simply a stainless steel bar sink that I cut the lip off and laid in some time ago. Used the same material for the other counter over here, as well as the credenza, whatever you call it, in the bedroom there. Otherwise, there's no other materials other than the floor. Again, some of you will remember that I had put down a click floor on top of the in-floor heating. Later on, to change the color, I put this vinyl plank floor down, thinking that would be great because it's thinner, the heat would come through better, and it's completely waterproof. But I wasn't thinking, because it has absolutely no structural strength. So as you can see, it just crushed the foam between the pipes. You can clearly see the pipes there for the in-floor heat. So that's got to come out. Worse yet, all the foam, because it's now crushed, has to come out, which means all the tubing has to come out, which means the entire in-floor system has got to come out. It gets even worse, because to improve the thermal bond between the tubing and the bottom of this vinyl plank, I coated it all with acoustic sealant, which is like a non-hardening black tar. What a mess it's going to be. Anyway, you'll get to enjoy it when we get to it. All right, that's enough for now. Cheers. Okay, I thought I should probably give you a bit of an update on the little electrical panel I have going here. I don't think I've ever showed you this before, although it's been in for a while. At the top, this is the solar controller, Blue Sky. This is a MPPT, really, really nice solar controller for the panels on the roof, and I've been thrilled with that. We're not picking up just much right now because there's not much sun out. This is the remote for the Xantrex charger converter. Now this is an amazing thing. Charger inverter, excuse me. This is an amazing, amazing thing. The actual box is down here, and it weighs about 100 pounds because it's got a massive transformer in it. It's not the latest technology. It's a few years old. It's a marine one, and I got a really good deal on it some time ago. Nowadays they can be done a little more solid state, so the transformers are smaller. But still, this is a beautiful toy, because what it does, if you're not familiar with a charger inverter, and that the same device becomes your battery charger and your inverter to make 110 from the batteries. So your outlets, your 110 outlets, are always live. If you're on shore power, you're plugged in and the power just comes through the inverter and the charger and the inverter and into the plugs. And the minute you pull the plug out from the shore power, it automatically switches over to creating inverted power from the batteries. So you don't need a source switch or anything like that. It has a couple of other really neat features. It can tell you how much current you're drawing out of the batteries, how much current you're drawing off the shore power, and you can limit the shore power load. Let's say you're on a generator or a low current source of shore power, let's say only 10 or 15 amps. Let's say you need a 20 or 25 amp load in the trailer. What it'll do, it'll power share. It'll take 10 amps, whatever you've limited, off the shore power and take the rest out of the batteries. And when you think about that, that's just a really, really handy thing. I love it. Totally awesome. Next is just a little custom panel I made for the hot water heater. It's a combination 110 electric plus gas. So this is a switch for the 110, this is a switch for the gas. This is an error light. If for some reason the gas doesn't light, that light goes on. And lastly, just a consumer home style thermostat. Just let that plane go over. And for the in-floor heat, basically this is a 220 volt thermostat. It's way overkill for the 1/4 of an amp or so that the tiny little circulation pump draws for the in-floor heat, but it works just fine, and that'll set the temperature for the in-floor heat. So anyway, that's just a quick little summary of that panel. I'll talk more about the master electrical system a little later on. Cheers. Well, everyone's favorite piece of plastic. All you Argosy people and most of you Airstream people will recognize this beast. There has never been such an inefficient piece of storage that is so flimsy to work with. I did always love the little downlights that were in it though. That was very cute. Anyway, so glad to have this finally out, and about to chop it up and get it in the dumpster. Bye.